In this era of technological boom, the process of news gathering and reporting has taken a paradigm shift. The processes of gathering news items have been altered by the emergence of new media technologies. New media has endangered instant news reporting and made access to varieties of sources easy. But despite these advantages of new media, the new media encouraged the reporting of unprofessional news contents and made news gathering and reporting an all-comers profession. At the end of this discussion, you are expected to describe the characteristics of new media and identify the different social media platforms that can be used in data gathering and reporting. But before we start, I want you to pause this video to answer this question. Can citizen journalism and social media replace the mainstream media? Why? When we say mainstream media, we are talking about the radio, the television, and the print. You will write your answers in the comment section below, and after posting your ideas, your answers, you can also react or reply to your classmates' ideas. Alright, time's up. So some of you will agree or disagree in this idea, but according to Livingstone, the new media rarely replace or even displace the older media. Rather, new media add to the available options to some extent, promoting new or more specialized medium. Research conducted around new media technologies in community centers in South Asia indicates that the most promising applications are those that combine new technologies with older or more established ones. So meaning, the new media is just complementing the older media or the traditional media for more effective way of communication or delivering information. Now let's define the new media. So today we are witnessing the evolution of a universal interconnected network of audio, video, and electronic text communications that will blur the distinction between the interpersonal and mass communication and between the public and private communication. When we say new media, it is a wide range of changes in media production, distribution, and use. It also means the internet and other social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, and other platforms. Newman also argues that the new media will alter the meaning of geographic distance. It will allow for a huge increase in the volume of communication, provide the possibility of increasing the speed of communication, provide opportunities for interactive communication, and will allow forms of communication that were previously separated to overlap and interconnect. So meaning, the ability to use modern technologies is now a yardstick for the measurement of individuals' professionalism in the media. The new in the new media implies a somewhat break away from the old or refers to as the top-down technologies. The new media are two-way media. They are interactive and as well as collaborative. Let's identify the different characteristics of the new media. First, it is participatory. The new media guarantee instant feedback. For instance, a reader can comment on a journalist's post on WhatsApp, on Twitter, Facebook, and other media platforms. The interactivity of the new media has made it a vital tool for an improved journalism. Online community. The new media encourage people that share similar interests to create platforms where they discuss issues that concern them. Conversational. The social or new media make the exchange of ideas easy. People are free to air their opinion no matter the distance. Next, user-generated content or the UGC. So everybody is a content generator in the new media. It is open, so people can create and disseminate information of their choice. The phenomenon of citizen journalism stems from this attribute. So everybody can contribute information. It also has a high impact with a compelling interactive experience through the use of spoken word, animation, graphics, and video. So there is also a freedom of choice through interactivity. Users like to be in control and not to be forced down a particular route, or you can easily browse anything through internet. Usefulness, because users are interested in quality information delivered in a properly organized and easily understood fashion. Next, instant availability from desktop, laptop, and of course, the most handy is our phone. New media also provides many advantages for those who commission them. Example, the ads, the campaign materials, but never the trolls. Effectiveness, which is enhanced by using sight and sound, as in old media. So this is more interactive than the old media. Appropriateness through the capability to deliver as much or as little information as the user requires in order to be convinced. The ability to sustain long-term relationships with customers but without the need to visit. So these days, in this pandemic period, we can consult our doctors through internet, through different media platforms. Expandability as needs develop, new parts can be added or old areas amended with reasonable ease. So these are the characteristics of the new media. The internet really changes the face of communication, wherein journalists are beginning to have a new way of packaging and disseminating news to the public. The new media has accelerated the news gathering process due to its digital nature, and it offers flexibility to journalists by way of allowing them to spend more time in the office. This contrasts with the traditional journalism routines, which induce reporters to roam the streets in search for news without adequate communication devices for networking and direction. The availability of the new media technologies like the smartphones, laptops, tablets, etc. is convenient for media practitioners to gather and disseminate news. It has made the news dissemination easier. New digital technology offers a novel platform for reaching audiences. So in essence, the internet brought about significant changes in journalism. So even before the pandemic, journalists have embraced multi-platform journalism. So they are now trained not just to specialize in print and broadcast journalism, but to be able to handle video and some online operations, including the merging of online team and the traditional newsroom together. When we say social media, it is a mixture of interactive tools on the internet for sharing information in various forms. A group of internet-based applications that build on the ideological and technological foundations of Web 2.0 that allow the creation and exchange of user-generated contents. Users of social network sites generate content when they update their status and post photos, links, and comments on others' posts and pictures. They can also interact with their friends by liking or express approval by clicking on an icon and reacting to others' content. There are some support in recent research to indicate the importance of the following constructs when evaluating the role of social media as a news provider. So these are the benefits of social media in news gathering and reporting. First, easier access to information, faster news delivery and breaking news items, easier access of feedback from the audience, interactivity with the viewers, following trending news stories and debates, monitoring the news story development and reactions, access to a greater variety of sources, people, and opinions, and the social networking sites have improved productivity. So these are the common benefits of social media in news gathering or disseminating information. The new media have made an immense contribution to news gathering and dissemination as it democratized the information space. So any individual can partake in news gathering and reporting. So the emergence of the new media provides an alternative voice for the people. It encouraged citizen journalism, which is the integral part of a democratic participant media theory. The audiences now have the medium they can freely use without going through the rigor of media gatekeeping. It has made everybody as gatekeepers of news. But the issue is, gatekeeping is no longer the exclusive preserve of the media reporter, the sub-editor, or to the editor. In the next slides, I will show you some of the results of a research conducted related to this topic. So here are the categories of social media. So we have different types of social media being used by the journalists. So we have the blogs, information depositories, microblogs, professional social networking sites, video and photo exchange sites. So these are the categorization of the social media. Next, these are the social networking sites used by the journalists in news sourcing. So the most commonly used networking site is the Twitter. YouTube has 35%, which is commonly used for gathering video materials. So usually we get stories, we get tweets or short headlines, short tweets about trending stories, about breaking stories via Twitter. Next, these are the social networking sites used in news delivery. 50% for YouTube, since most of the networks, the radio, television, even for print, use YouTube in live streaming or delivering recorded or pre-recorded programs. Next, the Twitter. So Twitter is really effective in posting and delivering breaking news. And of course, Facebook. So you can easily share the links of your stories, the videos, and photos. Social media platforms are targeted based on your navigation and likes, and hopefully lead to discoveries that match your interests. Using audience content is a cost-effective way of getting news content, story ideas, or new angles to reporting and to provide relevant content for audience. In one of the webinars that I attended, some of the broadcast journalists are also into new media, from data gathering to disseminating information. So here's Cara David of GMA News in her talk with the journalism professors and teachers on broadcast journalism in the new normal. This was organized by the Journalism Studies Association of the Philippines.
Bago pa naman nagkaroon ng pandemic, nagmamigrate na ang maraming newscast to the digital platform. So yes, meron pa rin tayong traditional TV channels where we do interviews, etc., etc. Pero even before the pandemic, maraming TV networks na yung nagmamigrate to digital. Nagla-live stream kami ng aming mga newscast. Last year, we launched an online newscast na ina-upload namin everyday sa YouTube. Ito yung newscast ni Atom Aralio na Stand for Truth, and it's shot entirely on smartphones. Yung mga reporters dito are all millennials. So, slowly but surely, we're trying to embrace the new phase of journalism kasi nakikinikinita na namin na eventually talagang everything will be digital, everything will be on the internet, everything will be on social media. So, yes, we still have two platforms, pero nagpupunta na rin sa digital ang maraming TV networks ngayon. Sa new normal, ang pagkakaiba lang talaga ay wala ng studio interviews. Wala ng studio interviews kasi very, very lean and mean na lang yung staff namin sa loob ng newsroom. When I do my newscast, ako lang mag-isa at yung cameraman ko. Yung cameraman, siya na rin ang floor director. Kahit wala ng studio interviews, marami pa rin live interviews na ginagawa, but it's all via remote, via Zoom, via Skype. Ang news gathering right now, dati, nung 20 years ago, nung nagsimula ako sa journalism, kailangan mo ng cameraman na malaki ang katawan, na merong buhat-buhat na malaking camera dito sa kanyang shoulder. Pero ngayon, with technology, your smartphone can be a camera. So now everyone who has a smartphone can actually record and pwedeng magbalita. May mga nagsasabi ang tawag dito selfie journalism kasi almost anyone can now become a journalist, di ba? Citizen journalism. So, kung ang cameras ay hindi na kailangan ng cameraman, smartphone ang ginagamit. Pagdating naman sa interviews ngayon sa new normal, syempre ayaw rin natin ng close contact with our officials, etc. Ang mga press cons ngayon ay virtual na. Ang press cons ngayon ay via Zoom, via Skype. Ito na yung mga bagong interview or press con venues. Everyday yan, meron ng DOH, tapos ini-invite na lang kami sa mga Zoom meetings. Ang channels ngayon, one click away. Kung dati, kailangan mo pa talagang mag-apply sa isang TV network. Ngayon, almost everybody has their own channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Matagal na nating naririnig yan. So, ibang-iba na talaga ang broadcast journalism ngayon in the new normal. Very challenging for us reporters ang news gathering kasi alam naman natin, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, hindi naman lahat ng tao ay may internet connection at alam natin may mga lugar pa rin dito sa Pilipinas ang kailangan nating maabot kahit wala silang wifi or kahit wala silang smartphone, kahit wala silang internet connection. So yes, half of our news team still go on field. Nag-field pa rin kami pero very, very limited na lang. Yung nakikita niyong litrato dyan, that's basically our live team. Dati yung live team namin, may malaki pa kaming ENG van na dala. Ngayon, ang pang-live namin, satellite na lang or naka-backpack na lang or it's just one computer. You just need a reporter, a cameraman, a driver, tapos siguro 2 or 3 people to do the live for you. Ganun na siya. Si Rafi Tima, who is a real techie, kaya niyang mag-live, mag-report at mag-edit ng mag-isa. So, sometimes si Rafi, one-man team. Siya yung nagre-report, siya rin ang nag-edit, siya rin ang nagte-teleprompter sa sarili niya, at siya rin ang nagpo-broadcast. Nagpapadala ng feed live. So, kasi kailangan talaga kaunti lang yung staff right now. We still do live reports pero may mga protocols syempre na pina-follow. Pagdating naman sa public affairs, akala ng mga tao wala ng public affairs shows kasi ang hirap i-produce ng isang documentary or isang magazine show or isang talk show nang hindi ka lumalabas, di ba? But we have produced online shows on YouTube and on Facebook. And si Howie Severino, my very, very good friend and co-anchor, has a talk show on Facebook. It's called Quarantined with Howie Severino. Napansin ni Howie, mas marami daw nagpapa-interview ngayon ng mga big celebrities at saka mga officials kasi wala na silang reason para sabihin, I'm busy kasi lahat ng tao nasa bahay. So ang dali ngayong ma-interview. We do all these interviews via Zoom or via Skype. We were able to produce a full-length documentary during the pandemic. Ito yung first documentary that we produced, Ako si Patient 2828 ni Howie Severino. It was shot entirely on smartphones and Zoom. At si Howie mismo was shooting inside his hospital room. Tapos we asked his nurse to shoot videos of himself as well. So, imagine, kayang mag-produce ng isang buong documentary ng Zoom lang, ng smartphone lang ang ginagamit. So, ayun, nagagawa natin ng paraan kahit papano. Pero, sometimes, syempre, we still have to go on field, lalo na dun sa mga lugar na hindi naaabot ng internet. The next slide, I'll show you a clip from my show, The New Normal. And imagine nyo na lang kung paano namin ito shoot. Kasi iisipin mo, shoot siya with a legitimate cameraman na may malaking backpack. Pero panoorin nyo siya and ilagay nyo sa utak ninyo na shoot namin ito using just my phone, using GoPro, using 360 cam na kinabit lang sa aking bisikleta, using YouTube videos and photos from ordinary people. Ang cameraman ko ngayon ay ang aking asawa, who is a seaman. Hindi siya cameraman, pero natuto nang mag-camera yung asawa ko. So watch this kasi pag napanood ninyo, magugulat kayo na, ay, shoot talaga yan na puro phone lang ang ginamit. isang frontliner na nagbibisikleta, kailangan kong samahan magbisikleta. Wala siyang internet. So, kailangan ko siyang samahan talaga. May kinabit na GoPro sa mga bikes namin. May kinabit akong GoPro sa mga bikes namin para mabibidyohan kami habang nagbibisikleta. So, imagine yung nagbibisikleta ko, yung nagsushoot nun ay nasa trunk ng sasakyan, may hawak na cellphone, tapos binibidyohan ako. So, broadcast journalism is possible in the new normal. Teaching broadcast journalism is also possible in the new normal. So, hindi pwedeng sabihin ng mga estudyante natin, new normal na po, wala po akong magagawang storya, hindi po ako makakapag-submit ng anything. Kasi if you have a phone with you, you can create something. Meron kang magagawa, meron kang maipoproduce.
Jairo Boledo of Stand for Truth and also a faculty of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines also talked about the gathering in time of pandemic.
Masasabi natin na yung COVID-19, binago niya yung media operations natin. Hindi talaga tayo makalabas. Some of us ay bounded lang sa ating mga bahay at talagang yung mga sources natin ay limited, especially for those na nagsisimula pa lang sa ating field, no? So masasabi natin na entirely COVID-19 changed media operations. Like for us, usually kami mga mobile reporters and producers, talagang sanay kami na lumalabas, yung mga sources namin, pinupuntahan namin, and we shoot right away. And of course, aside from that, kami mismo yung nagkakandak ng interview. So ngayong COVID-19, talagang naging malaki yung problema namin kasi naging limited yung galaw namin in all aspects. Limited sa news gathering, limited sa interview, limited sa pag-shoot mismo ng mga case studies, no? So ngayon i-share ko sa inyo yung mga tips namin na ginagawa sa Stand for Truth para makapagkama pa rin kami sa story, no? Pero bilang mga journalists, bilang mga media practitioners, and bilang mga journalism educators, isa sa mga pinakamalaking advantages natin, no, kumpara sa mga ibang professions, ay adaptive tayo sa pagbabago. Talagang sa atin, very flexible tayo kasi talaga nag-a-adjust tayo sa situation. Siguro dala na rin talaga ng pagiging multidisciplinary, pagiging expert natin o pagiging maalam natin, no, sa maraming bagay, no. And fortunately, ngayong pandemic, talaga nakahanap tayo ng paraan, no, para maka-adapt sa new normal na tinatawag. And fortunately, kami sa Stand for Truth ay tuloy pa rin yung operations namin. So, naghanap kami ng mga ways para talagang makapag-continue pa rin yung aming operations. Okay, I'll get straight to the point. I usually follow these 6 approaches of comprehensive news gathering provided by Reuters. No, pero unfortunately kasi, ngayong new normal nga, hindi useful siya, of course, yung 6 na to, pero talaga meron ditong 2 lang na pinakamagagamit natin at pinaka-fully utilize natin. Yung personalized and localized news gathering, ito yung mga stories na close to our heart. Yung social journalism, ito yung mga parang related stories, yung advocacy natin, no? Away from mainstream, ito yung mga stories na breakthrough from the usual narrative ng journalism na tinatawag. And of course, data journalism, yung binabanggit kanina ni Miss Carol. Pero ngayon yung normal, ang pinakamagagamit natin, since limited yung galaw natin at limited yung operations natin, pinakamagagamit natin ay yung social media and citizen/collaborative journalism na tinatawag. Okay, let's start with the social media. Okay, social media, according to Reuters Institute, in 2016, in their digital news report, 31% of the population in the countries that they have surveyed actually use social media to become proactive participants of the news. Ibig sabihin nito, yung mga social media users hindi lang nandoon sa mga social media platforms para dito i-access to for information or para mag-share ng kanilang mga saloobin or mag-post ng mga pictures and all, but also to be proactive participants. Ibig sabihin, nagpo-provide sila ng information, nagpo-provide din sila ng news. They serve as news sources, no, for journalists and media practitioners. Now, kami ngayon, dahil new normal na at nasa bahay kami, even our host, Atom and Richard Daydaria, nasa bahay sila, and yung mga journalists namin, producers, nasa bahay din, social media yung pinaka-na-utilize namin for now. Hindi namin sinasabi na ito yung pinaka-effective kasi talagang sabi nga ni Miss Carol kanina, talagang kailangan talaga ng legwork, no, pag sa ating mga journalist, no. Pero dahil nga limited yung galaw natin, talagang i-optimize muna natin yung social media. So this is one, no. Ito halimbawa yung story na to about dun sa Taguig family, no, na allegedly pinapalayas ni NCRPO Chief Sinas, no. Usually, mag-viral naman talaga siya sa social media. Pero ang problema kasi natin, since hindi nga tayo makakalabas at makakapunta doon, kailangan natin makipag-collaborate sa mismong nag-post. So ito ay pinost ni Arls De Los Santos. Fortunately, isa siya sa mga estudyante namin sa PUP. Pero beyond that, isa din sa factor natin, isang tip pala sa ating mga pag gusto nating magpalawak na network sa social media, no, let our Facebook friends know that we are into journalism, so that pag may makita sila mga stories at meron sila mga interesting speeches na tinatawag, itatag nila tayo. So fortunately, nakuha ko tong story na to kasi yung isa sa mga estudyante ko, tinag niya ako dito, and nagawa naman namin yung story at nakuha naman namin yung information, no. Sayang lang kasi hindi siya napuntahan kasi limited operations nga. Ito naman, isa din to sa mga stories namin na nakuha, na gather namin through using social media. So ito, nakita ko lang siya personally sa Facebook, kasi nag-member ako sa isang Cebuano group kasi meron kami nilulutong storya nun about COVID situation in Cebu City. So fortunately, na-scroll ko siya doon. Tungkol to isang matandang lalaki na namatay ng around May, pero July, naka-receive yung pamilya niya ng COVID certificate na gumaling na siya. So from that, kompleto yung trail, pinost naman ni Stephanie Ang, yung paper trail na tinatawag, no. So makikita natin dito yung actual certification, yung death certificate ng lolo niya, and yung paglilibing, yung actual na paglilibing, no. Ang mahirap kasi ang mahirap pa sa social media kasi hindi tayo sigurado sa authenticity nito. So kailangan talaga nating i-fact check. So ang ginawa ko, kinos-check ko siya sa mismong City Health Department ng Cebu, yung nakalagay sa header. So fortunately, legitimate naman yung kanilang document, no. So nag-proceed kami sa story. Now, in social media, wala naman so far kami wala pa naman kaming talagang theoretical na tinatawag na step by step, no. Pero ito, yung mga useful tips or yung useful methods na usually ginagamit namin para makapag-gather kami ng news gamit ang social media para mag-utilize natin ito. Number 1 is join Facebook groups. Dahil ngayon social media, malaki yung community ng mga Pilipino doon. Halos lahat ng bagay na ginagalawan natin, may group. Halimbawa, K-pop group, pageant enthusiast group, mga nagbabarter group. So, nandoon lahat, no? So, pag may target tayong istorya, pwede natin i-utilize yung feature ng Facebook na yon. And, for example, this one. Nagkaroon ako ng story about OFW situation, COVID situation, no? So, ang ginawa ko, sumali ako sa lahat ng makikita kong OFW Facebook group para makahanap ako ng source or para makahanap ako ng interviewee na tinatawag, no? So, fortunately, nakahanap naman ako. And isa pa, recently, nagkaroon tayo no ng pag nasunog yung imahe ng Santo Niño sa Pandacan Church, no. So kailangan kasi namin ng interviewin na enthusiast ng mga nagko-collect ng poon and someone na talaga maalam, no, sa mga icons. And dahil nga limited yung aming galaw, hindi kami makalabas, ginawa namin, sumali na lang kami dito sa group na to, Esculturas Religiosas en Las Filipinas, and fortunately, nahanap naman namin yung hinahanap namin. So that's one, no. That's one of the useful methods. We join Facebook groups. Second one is, ito yung matatawag natin isa sa mga pinaka-basics, no. Follow the hashtags. Or basically, let's say, follow the trend sa social media na tinatawag, no. Ang ginagamit namin, ako personally, cheat sheet. Ang ginagamit ko ay hashtag KMJS, saka hashtag Rapid Tool for Inaction. Kasi hindi natin maitatanggi na sa ating social media presence ngayon at sa ating news and public affairs operations, masasabi natin na isa sila sa mga pinaka-popular, KMJS and Rapid Tool for specifically kung gusto nating humanap ng mga viral stories. And sabi nga natin, ngayong new normal, medyo limited yung galaw natin, hindi tayo makapag-news gather sa labas, so makakatulong itong pag-follow natin ng hashtag. Halimbawa, kapag tinype natin sa Facebook ang hashtag Rapid Tool for Inaction, kagabi lang to, around 8 p.m. yata, 155,000 people sa Facebook community yung nag-post ng may hashtag Rapid Tool for Inaction. So by using that hashtag, makakakita tayo ng related posts, makakakita tayo ng related stories na pwede natin i-check at pwede natin tingnan kung of news value ba siya o kung pwede ba natin siyang gawin. Halimbawa, ito ay pinost ni Emil Balon na aksidente somewhere. Ito naman, about dun kay Jang Lucero, yung pinatay na Grab driver. So, ayun yung sa hashtag Raffy Tulfo in Action. Kapag ginamit naman natin yung hashtag KMJS, alam naman natin lahat na yung mga Pinoy, kapag may fascinated sila sa isang social media post or may gusto silang i-share, talaga automatically, hindi mawawala yung pag-tag nila sa hashtag KMJS. So, kung gusto nyo ng storya, pwede nyo i-type lang yan, makikita naman natin. Kanina, 155,000 yung mga taong nag-post about na may hashtag Raffy Tulfo in Action. Ito naman, 170,000. So usually, hindi naman lahat yan napipick up ni KMJS and news naman kasi yung format namin. So nakakakuha kami kahit pa paano ng stories dyan, specifically in the new normal. Okay? So review lang tayo. Number 1, we join Facebook groups, no? Para makagather tayo ng sources. And number 2, para makahanap din ng storya, we follow the hashtags or we follow the social media trend. And aside from following the social media trend, we also monitor Facebook and Twitter feed. Kasi mahalaga din, no, na talaga nakatutok tayo doon, most especially na lalo na kung wala naman tayo masyadong ginagawa sa bahay for the meantime at nagsuscroll lang tayo, I highly suggest sa ating mga students at sa ating mga educators na for us to keep in touch with the news organizations and with the latest happenings in our society, we follow and we like social media pages ng mga news organization or ng mga public affairs organization. And one is, yun nga, we follow this feed. Halimbawa, itong kay Stephanie Ang, lumabas din kasi siya sa feed ko lang. Pinost siya doon sa Barangay Kamputhaw, member ako noon, isa siyang barangay sa Cebu. So ang ginawa ko dito para mabuo ko siyang storya, nahanap ko siya somewhere, fortunately si Stephanie, nag-reply naman siya. So how do we do ba pag ganito? Kapag nakakita tayo ng possible story at visible naman yung nag-post, i-message natin siya right away. At kapag hindi siya nag-reply, ang ginawa ko dito style, lahat ng nakatag sa kanya ay message ko din at tinignan ko yung profile ni Stephanie at yung makikita kong mutual friends doon or yung makikita ko mga friends na available na i-message, message ko din. And aside from that, nag-comment din ako sa actual post ni Stephanie and yon. Fortunately, nag-reply naman siya. Pero one tip lang, dapat kapag gumagawa tayo ng mga ganitong klaseng moves or ito yung napili nating style, dapat magpakilala tayo ng maayos and dapat i-assert magpakilala tayo na tayo ay mula sa isang media organization, tayo ay isang campus journalist or journalism educator at interesado tayo na gawin yung storya para hindi sila mag-freak out kasi baka magmukhang stalker type, di ba? So, mahalaga din na talaga ipakilala natin. Number 1 rule naman yun, every time na nakipag-usap tayo sa possible source, dapat magpakilala tayo. Yon. So, meron tayong 4 tools, no? Join Facebook groups, follow hashtags, and monitor Twitter and Facebook feed. And last one is the use of keywording. Keywording ay napakahalaga, lalo na kung gumagamit tayo kung sa social media tayo humahanap kasi proper keywording will provide us the stories that we need or the possible interviews and sources that we want to know. Halimbawa, kapag gusto natin ng story ng namatay sa COVID o OFW, kapag sinearch kasi natin siya sa Google, hindi ganun karami yung engagements niya kasi unless gawan siya talaga ng article. Pero kung gusto natin ng raw na tinatawag at talagang parang anonymous post or raw post siya, no, ng isang social media user, I suggest we use Facebook or Twitter, no. So ito halimbawa sa Facebook, gusto natin ng story about namatay na OFW sa COVID. So ang ginawa ko, OFW plus namatay plus COVID. We use plus. Bakit plus po yung ginagamit, no? Nakasanayan namin siya sa amin nung researcher pa ako kasi mas naglalabas siya ng mga related searches and results na less yung words kasi instead na maglagay tayo ng mga additives na tinatawag o yung sa grammar natin, ilagay na lang natin plus. So OFW, lalabas lang talaga yung word na OFW, namatay and COVID at makikita natin sa mga posts na lalabas sa results or sa related results ay yung mga keyword lang ang nalalabas. Yung mga keywords na merong OFW, merong namatay, and merong COVID. Okay, so let's recap. Yun lang naman yung sa social media tools natin, no? So review lang natin. Number 1, we join Facebook groups. Number 2, we follow the hashtags or we follow the trend. Number 3, we monitor Facebook and Twitter feed. And number 4, we Number 4, we use keywording. At ito nga, connected siya doon sa social media natin or sa gathering news in the social media, connected siya dito sa collaborative and citizen journalism na tinatawag. Ito din yung binabanggit kanina ni Ma'am Carol. At tama po yun kami sa news operations dahil limited yung galaw namin. For ako po ay nasa Bulacan, halimbawa, at yung story ko ay nasa Cebu. Hindi naman kami allowed na lumipad ng Cebu dahil bukod sa alam naman natin na medyo nagtitipid dahil sa pandemic, ay talagang yung health na tinatawag, health reasons, no? So kami ay umaasa for now sa collaborative and citizen journalism. At for us, helpful naman siya so far. Halimbawa, ito pong story na to na nagawa namin last 2 weeks ago, about po siya sa mga teachers sa Capiz, no? Or sa Iloilo. At ang nangyari po dito, tuloy po yung pasukan nila sa kabundukan. So kami, hindi naman po kami makakapunta. Yung reporter po namin ay hindi naman namin maipapadala doon sa Capiz. So ang ginawa po namin, we've utilized the social media tools, no? Sumali po kami sa mga Facebook groups, humanap po kami ng mga keywords, and fortunately, nakahanap po kami ng interview at source. At talagang from that, inassert po namin na talaga magkaroon ng collaborative journalism between us and our source, no? So, fortunately, si Sir naman po ay isang teacher, talaga nakatulong siya sa amin ng sobra-sobra. Ayan po si Sir, siya po yung nag-shoot ng situation nila, siya po yung nag-narrate. Usually, sa napapanood po natin, no, ng mga documentaries ni Ma'am Cara, si Ma'am Cara po talaga, or si Sir Atom yung makikita natin gumagawa ng story. And this one, talagang, ang ginawa po namin, ini-utilize na lang namin yung social media at binigyan namin ng chance na yung mismong case study or interview or resource namin yung pinagsalita namin at siya yung parang nag-vlog type siya dyan and siya din mismo yung nag-interview doon. And ang problema lang na, ang downfall lang nito, ang pitfall lang nito is yung legitimacy. So ang ginagawa namin dito, before namin sila bigyan ng request, no, na sila yung mag-shoot, talagang binibigyan namin sila ng proper information, binibrief namin sila na sir, ganito po ito po yung story po natin. We highly suggest po na ganito po yung case study. And before naman po nila interview, na ginagawa naman nila, pinapaalam nila sa amin, no, o sa reporter na assign kung sino yung interviewin nila at anong laman ng interview. And to preserve, no, the authenticity of the story, raw material yung sinesend po nila sa amin. And sinasabi po namin, so far nagtitiwala naman po kami sa integrity ng mga case studies namin, no. Pero bilang mga journalist, kailangan po natin to i-fact check at i-cross check ng many times, no, para ma-preserve po natin yung authenticity ng story natin. Isa pa pong story namin na nagawa through collaborative and citizen journalism, ito pong Escape from Wuhan. Yung show po namin, Stand for Truth, kami po ay isang mobile newscast show. Ibig sabihin po, lahat po ng material na napapanood nyo po sa aming show, karamihan, 80%, 75% po, ay sinut lang gamit ang phone. At in-edit ngayon, yung new normal, yung kaming mga reporters na rin po, producers yung nag-edit ng aming material. So sa phone lang din po kami nag-edit or laptop. Ito po, Escape from Wuhan, before pa po magkaroon ng lockdown dito sa ating bansa at ako makalat pa lang yung pandemic, no, epidemic pa lang siya actually at NCOV pa nga yung tawag sa kanya, nakagawa kami ng story about ito nga yung situation natin sa Wuhan, talagang parang in chaos na siya. So ang ginawa namin, ni-utilize namin, no, yung citizen and collaborative journalism at ang ginawa namin, by using the social media tools that I've discussed earlier, nakahanap kami ng mga Filipinos na nakatira doon, na sila na rin mismo yung nag-shoot at nagbigay sa amin ng mga material. Sila na rin yung in-interview namin. So ito ay sinut ni Sir John Robert ko, isa siyang professor sa UP actually, at Facebook friend siya, and fortunately nalaman namin na doon pala siya nag-aaral, no, sa Wuhan. So nag-shoot siya sa amin at in-interview din namin siya kasi nagkaroon ng conspiracy theories noon sa social media. Isa pa pala ito, no, dapat natin banggitin na ang daming conspiracy theories sa social media at hindi naman sinasabi natin mostly ay ito ay fake news, no, or disinformation, misinformation, pero minsan pwede natin siyang gamitin na actually lead. Kasi sinabi dito na nagkaroon daw ng parang nagkakaroon daw ng ransacking sa mga groceries sa Wuhan, nagkakaroon daw ng ubusan ng supply. So nalaman namin through Sir John Robert and isa naming source pa na hindi naman talaga siya ransacking kundi nagkakaubusan ng supply kasi magla-lockdown nga yung Wuhan. So ito yung isa sa mga interview namin. Kasi ito sa mga makapigilhin nga naming storya kasi muntik na kami mamemohan off the record dahil dito kasi muntik na siyang hindi umabot sa aming airing kasi si BN Cindy binasa nila yung video nila 6 p.m. kasi 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. palabas na sila ng Wuhan. So ito yung mga few moments before ng lockdown, and fortunately nakukuha namin at na-videohan nila yung few moments before ng lockdown. Ito yung news report natin at lahat na makikita natin dito, ang original lang namin na video ay yung sinut ng aming reporter and the rest ay bunga ng collaborative journalism. Syempre bago po namin to in-air at sinulat yung script, chinek po namin lahat at krinos-check din namin even sa government agencies kung talagang yung mga pinrovide po ba nila ay tama at factual.
Habang patuloy ang pagkalat ng bagong coronavirus mula sa Wuhan, China, nagkagulo ang mga residente at naguna-unahan sa pag-alis. Maswerteng nakaalis ang
Okay, so medyo limited time na lang po pala. Sorry po, no? Pero ito po yung title niya, Escape from Wuhan. Pwede nyo na lang po siya i-search sa GMA News and Public Affairs social media pages dahil limited lang po yung time natin at doon po natin siya panoorin, no? Pero kung makikita po natin dyan, scroll ko na lang, lahat po ng video natin ay galing po sa kanila. Sila din po nag-video at ginamit po namin yung Zoom, Skype para ma-interview po namin yung mga sources and yung mga situationers, sila din po yung actual na nag-video. So, ayun po, nag-interview din po kami, of course, from the government side para mapaliwanag po nila sa amin at sila naman po ay isa sa mga reliable sources natin para malaman natin what's really happening on the ground.
We also have here some of our graduates who are now working in different radio and TV stations. They will share some insights on how they maximize social media in data gathering.
Pinaka-easy na way to look for a story, social media talaga. I mean, kahit ako, nung most of my stories came from the internet. Siguro, based on personal experience na lang. Kasi when I got into ABS-CBN, syempre, parang, from scratch ka mag-start eh. Matanglawin has different, topics, diba? It can range from parang science, experiments, to animals, to travel and adventure, history, culture, and tradition. What I do is, I look for Facebook groups na yung established na Facebook groups. Tapos, doon ako naghahanap ng possible stories. So, for example, may Facebook group na puro dog lovers. Magjo-join ako sa group na yun. Tapos, mag-check lang ako ng mga nagpo-post na members. Then, from there, makakakuha na agad ako ng story. Halimbawa, meron akong Facebook group na sinalihan about dogs. May tattoo artist doon na nagtatattoo siya na animal design. So, kung tattoo artist lang siya, hindi siya ka-ere-ere on TV because it's normal. Parang normal lang siya na tattoo artist. Pero what's different about him is that nagtatattoo siya ng animal designs and instead of asking for money from customers, humihingi siya ng dog food and cat food in return. Kasi ang ginagawa pala niya, every day when he goes to work, meron siyang daladalang dog food para mag-feed sa mga stray cats and dogs. So, yun yung kakaiba sa kanya. Kaya niya deserve ng airtime on TV kasi may advocacy siya na gano'n. Actually, mag-browse ka lang sa internet, mabilis lang makakuha ng story. Marami nag-share ng kwento nila. And, yun, I also look for parang yung mga websites na When in Manila, mga coconuts ba yun? Mga ganyan, yung Noli, and Spot, mga ganyan. Nag-check din ako sa kanila as parang secondary sources na.
Starting March to April, hindi na kami lumalabas. So, talagang malaking tulong yung social media kasi doon kami kumukuha ng news. May mga hashtags din na pwedeng sundin or pwedeng i-follow para makakuha ng insights. And then yung interview, malaki yung pagbabago kasi from face-to-face, naging siyang via Zoom or via Messenger, video call, ganun. Or kung hindi naman, nag-forward na kami ng questions doon sa interviewee and then nag-video response na lang sila. Sa social media kasi malaking tulong talaga siya kasi doon unang binabato yung information, doon unang binabato yung reports, lalo na yung police group chats, including dyan yung Camarines Sur, group chat, meron din tayong sa Region 5. So, malaking tulong siya kasi updated ka. Yun kung ina-update rin naman ng mga admin yung laman ng group chat. Pero, usually kasi sa amin dito sa CSTPO, palagi naman siyang updated, and then dito sa NCPO. So, malaking tulong siya by morning. Alam mo na, titignan mo na kung alin yung mga pwedeng puntahan, alin yung mga newsworthy kumbaga.
Indispensable na talaga yung internet kasi ang news gathering actually ang nakakakuha kami ng scoop, tip sa internet. Kasi di ba yung mga government agencies nagpo-post sila ng parang teaser lang, may picture, tapos may caption, tapos doon makakakuha ka na, ay may ganito pala sila. So doon tatawag ka na doon sa mga government agencies. Hindi talaga siya purely internet. Pero ang pinaka-main ay yung internet. Di ba nakita ko sa video halimbawa ng Dole na may may job fair sila, needing 3,000 ng mga job seekers. So medyo kulang yung info nila. Ang gagawin namin, tatawagan namin yung Dole, tatawagan namin yung PIO. So ganun yung ginagawa namin. Kasi minsan mahirap din mag-rely sa internet ngayon. Ay, lalong-lalo na ang pangit natin. So, yun lang ang ginagawa namin. Nakuha kami ng scoop doon. Pina-follow namin yung lahat ng mga newsmakers. Kasi hindi tayo ang gumagawa ng balita, nagsusulat lang tayo. So, yung mga newsmakers natin, yung mga government agencies, yung mga PNP, yung mga reliable sources natin. So, ang ginagawa namin, kapag may nakita kaming pinost nila na, ay, pakinabang to sa publiko, pero kulang naman yung info, tatawagan na lang namin sila. Alam naman natin, marami ng mga naglabasan ngayon ng mga news portals online, mga news pages. So, yung ibang natin, hindi natin alam kung mga legit ba yun. So, ang ginagawa doon, nandun na yung mga balita, gumagawa rin sila ng mga balita. So, bilang isang responsableng nasa media, tayo naman, although nag-monitor tayo ng mga news pages na yon, so hindi dapat na basta-basta lang natin copy-paste lang natin ang copy-paste at kapag nakita natin na andun, ginawa naman ng maayos, balita, ay maniniwala tayo agad-agad, kokopyahin din natin agad, reangle lang, okay na. Pinaka-importante pa rin na first-hand pa rin yung information na makukuha natin.
Now, let me give you an example on how to use some common platforms in data gathering. So, as a broadcast and print journalist, social media is also helpful for me in getting ideas for my news and feature articles. Example, on Facebook, if you are looking for something, you can easily browse on Facebook some viral posts using keywords. Example, the hashtag piso para sa laptop. Another one, the drop your challenge. Example, drop your beautiful daughter challenge. We can also do this in Twitter. All of the related posts will come out. But data gathering must not stop there, or a journalist should not rely on this information, or should not just rely on this information. Like what I always do, I just consider a social media post as a story idea. Example, if that story is something controversial, you need to get some direct quotes or first-hand information from the legitimate source. Despite the potentials of the new media in news gathering and dissemination, the media have some shortcomings. The new media is open. Anybody can publish whatever they want to publish. This attribute of new media is its major disadvantage. The limitless opportunities for anyone to have their say on anything is decreed to result in opinion or vitriol. The lack of accountability and anonymity of those contributing and responding online also introduces concerns of verification, accountability, and accuracy. There are criticisms of the blogosphere as doing nothing more than opening the floodgates to unverified, deprofessionalized gossips. These shortcomings of the new media have made journalists vigilant and critical when reporting to news. Journalists are now careful not to fall for the unprofessional contents of bloggers and even the citizen journalists. With the help of new media, news gathering, processing, and delivery are now spontaneous. The best channel to break a story is through the new media. Media convergence has also helped news gathering and reporting. Despite the disadvantages of the new media in the news gathering process, the media have made journalists be on their feet. Journalists double-check their sources of news in order not to publish unprofessional contents. The information superhighway or the internet has revolutionized diverse sectors of human endeavors.